Well, good afternoon. It is the 1st of July 2019, and I've had a lot of requests for this over the weekend, so we're going to talk a little bit about Hag Stones, or Adder Stones. So-called Adder Stones because they're also called serpent's eggs or snake's eggs. Witches' stones, they're also called. In Cornwall, they're called Milpreve. On the Isle of Wight, they're called Crone Stones, but I generally use Hag Stone because that's what people will know. But we call them Crone. Some people call them Crone Stones. So I've got my water for my cough. Well, clearing my throat. So how was everyone's weekend? I hope you had a wonderful one. You spent hours mostly at the beach. Had a very wonderful time, and I went collecting for Crone Stones, and here we go. I have one right here. Now, what makes these so special? Let me see if you can see. Can you see that right through there? Let me see. Look at my eye lined up. There we go. Anyway, the thing is that when I look in the thing, it's opposite to what I'd expect. So anyway, so it's got a hole in the middle. There we go. You can see that hole. Okay, there's my eye through the hole. I've got a few of these to show you. There's another one here, and finally this one here. So what are they? Well, they're stones, and those of you that are listening on the podcast, you won't be able to tell what I'm talking about, but I will. The image that comes with the podcast. I'm talking about stones with holes in them, and they're usually found around water because the water will bore holes, whether it's through a vein of something like chalk that goes through the middle, or rattling with other stones. So, for example, if you look at these, you can see that there's little bits of chalk that actually go through, and they've over time have sort of weathered away. This one here, the same thing, but also part of it actually was a stone that had got lodged in there and broke it away. So what are they? Well, they've been thought of as mystical objects for many years. As I said, witches' stones or magic stones. Part of the belief system that comes because came around about them is because they do seem quite mystical. How could these holes be bored through the middle of them? There's lots of stories and lots of beliefs. And so the first is about divination. And there's a couple of ideas around this. Now the first is that if you look through and you look through the world, look at the world through it, the world becomes distorted. Particularly if you look through from the smaller end to the larger end, you end up with a fish-eyeing effect. And the science of that is basically because of the way it distorts the light. But the belief system is that the distortions allow you to see or divine the future. And some people also believe that it is a way of seeing through to the other world, or to the fairy world, perhaps. And it's often thought of that, one should be careful when using. Look, you can't see my face there. There we go. One should be careful about using. Maybe I should do that at that angle there. There we go. Now I can speak into the microphone a little bit better. No. Still not quite great. I'll work on this. I've got a new camera. I know I'm flittering around, and those that are watching see my new camera. So that'll be set up, and you probably get a better sight of me then. So anyway, so the thought is that It distorts reality, allows you to divine the future. The future can be revealed to you, also the past, to help with the healing of people. But also, some people believe that it'll allow you to see into the elvish world, or the world of the fairies. And if you do that, and you do see those, you have to be very careful. Make sure you leave an offering for the fairies. One story goes that a girl found one and was able to see through the fairies and watch them, but made it too obvious and never left an offering for the fairies, and they got angry and they pulled out her eyes. A cautionary tale. So what else? There is protection. There's the protection side of it. Some people will wear them as pendants, or hang them, or put them together and hang them from the door. And you'll actually see that. You used to see that quite a bit on some of the older houses. Always hung with twine made of flax, or or some sort of natural fibre, to protect against evil, keep the evil spirits away. And the cunning folk and the old people firmly believed that these would help. And also help with healing. Eyesight was a common theme. But also with people's energies. So it was also seen as a way of healing people. And then there's the second sight. And this is related to what I was saying earlier with being able to see the other world. Being able to look through these and pierce through the veil. When I look through and I can see that fish-eyed effect, I really do find it fascinating and beautiful. Looking out at sea, when I look through these, when I found them, it just was absolutely beautiful. So again, seeing the second sight, seeing beyond the veil, being able to see the spirits and speak to them. So these are very versatile and mysterious objects, powerful objects. So this weekend I found 4. Interestingly, 3 weeks I've been searching and I didn't find any. And then one weekend I found 4. And they say that you don't find them, they find you. And maybe that's true. Because there's some dear friends that I think need them more than me. And whenever I find one, I always gift them. Gift them to those that need them. And they do seem to come to me when they're needed. So these are these 4 that I have found. I don't know if you can see them. There we go. There we go. And this guy here. There he is there. Oop. There we go. These 4 have been earmarked to go to some very dear friends. And I found them all at Compton Bay, which I think is quite apt. Compton Bay, known for this vein of blue sandy clay that could be used. You mix it with water and you can paint your face. And I imagine that this was seen as a sacred paint for the warriors, and I feel that the energy around that place is unbelievable. So I feel that these are destined for those that need those warriors to look after them and help them. And I guess that's it for today. Just some Hag Stone, or as we say, Crone Stones, and we believe that because there's my constant companion, the train. I've got the windows wide open today, so the train might be louder than normal. But the reason we call them the Crone Stone is because of the sea crone. the sea spirit who controls the weather. She gifted them to me, I believe, and they found their rightful place. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week. I don't know. I don't know if I sound flat at all. Do I sound flat to you? I don't know. I'm a bit anxious today. I'm starting a new program on Wednesday. That I invite you to join me and join my journey on this weight loss program, and it's very I'm feeling quite a lot of anxiety about it. So those of you that are interested, please follow me. I'll be setting up a new Twitter and YouTube and things about it. But so there we go. Thank you very much for following. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful week. Got lots in store for this week. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, and bye-bye.